Hello everybody, I'm Jackie K. Cooper and this is my entertainment rundown. The first movie is Stuber. It's about a guy named Stu who is a driver for Uber. So we get Stuber. And it stars Dave Bautista. He's from Guardians of the Galaxy. You've seen him there, and suddenly it seems like he's in every movie coming out of Hollywood. And then an actor that I really like named Kumail Nanjiani. I've seen him in other things. He's just great. And in seeing the trailer for this film, it's about a policeman played by Bautista. He's had LASIK surgery, so he can't drive a car, and he gets a call from an informant saying, there's a drug deal going down, and so he calls Uber and kind of takes over the car. And of course, the driver, played by Nanjiani, is fighting him all the way, saying, don't get me in trouble. All I want is a 5-star rating. Don't push me to do all this other stuff. Plus, he's having problems in his personal life. He's got a woman that he's crazy about, played by Betty Gilpin, and he wants to be with her. He's made arrangements to see her that night, and Dave Bautista's character keeps forcing him to drive him from one locale to another. And then the bad guys get involved, and so there's shootouts, etc. In the trailer, it looked like that Bautista and Nanjiani were going to have this really strong rapport with each other, that they were going to be, kind of like a comedy team, and Bautista being the straight guy and Nanjiani being the guy to deliver the jokes. It never works out that way. It's just a routine crime caper. The best jokes were in the trailer, and there's not a lot of fresh new stuff in the movie, and that was a real disappointment. The two actors are good, but they don't have any chemistry together. You want to get involved with these characters. You want to care about these characters. You want to laugh at their antics, about how different they are and how they handle things. But it just drives itself off the road. I was thinking, while I was sitting there watching the movie, I thought, there's one word for Stuber, and it's stupid, because it just didn't work. The lines, the script was not good. The actors were good, but they didn't have the characters that they could really get into. Mira Sorvino is also in the film, along with Natalie Morales. It is rated R for profanity, nudity, and violence. I scored it 4 out of 10, and it probably should have been a little bit less than that. I did not enjoy it. If this was counter-programming for Spider-Man, it won't make a dent in Spider-Man's continued success. The next movie is a documentary. It's called Bethany Hamilton, Unstoppable. And several years ago, there was a movie called Soul Surfer, and it was based on the story of this girl, real-life girl, named Bethany Hamilton, and she had grown up in Hawaii with her family, mother, father. She had 2 brothers. She loved the ocean. Her parents were both, loved to surf. They got her on the surfboard at an early age, and by the time she was 11, 12 years old, you knew that she was going to turn pro at some point. She was just that good. And then one day, she was just out in the ocean on her surfboard with her friend, and she was attacked by a tiger shark who attacked her, and she lost her arm, her left arm. But she did not let that stop her, even though everything on surfing is balance. She went ahead and got back in the water after she healed, and then got back into competition and really did amazing. The movie of Soul Surfer, which was her story, I remember going to the press junket, and I got to meet Bethany Hamilton. Now, don't think if you ever met Bethany Hamilton, if you said, oh, yeah, I hear you know Jackie K. Cooper. No, I was one of 100 people that she met in the press, so I'm sure it did not lodge in her mind that she was being asked questions by, this guy from Georgia named Jackie K. Cooper. But I remember being impressed with her. She's a strong Christian. She has a lot of faith, And it was like seeing the real story behind the story. And this documentary gives you the real story behind the story. Plus, it takes it forward. She's now in her late 20s, and so you get the story up to there. And it's still impressive all the way. This film is rated PG just because there is the violence of surfing, getting caught up in the wave and being damaged. I really, really like this movie. Maybe it's because I had met her in person, but her story is so compelling. I scored it 8 out of 10. I'm not a big documentary fan, but I really like this one. And whoever created the story, decided how to tell her story. The photography, her parents were avid, camera people who photographed her, every move, just about all her life. So you get to see her virtually grow up in front of your eyes. So search this one out. Bethany Hamilton, Unstoppable. It gets an 8 out of 10 from me. I'm going to end up with a film called Pink Wall. It's a 2-person character study about a couple, and they're together for 6 years in the movie. You get 6 scenes from those years. It stars Tatiana Maslany and Jay Duplass. And they're not people who you say, oh, gosh, I want to see that movie. But they do a good job. It's a very complex relationship. She is an ambitious producer. He is somebody who is more, kind of goes in a more circular or, at different angles to try to pursue what he wants. As a couple, it's difficult to buy them as being a compelling couple together, but it's all conversation. It's, they talk about the issues of being a couple at this day and time. The roles of men, the roles of women, the roles of marriage, of family, etc., the relationship with parents, with siblings, with friends. It's all there, and they talk, and sometimes you just get overwhelmed by the talk. The film isn't rated yet, but it would fall in the R category for profanity and sexual conversations, because sometimes they can be pretty graphic what they're talking about. I scored this movie 4 out of 10. It didn't even reach the average stage, but I do say that the actors gave a good try to inventing their characters. It was just that the basis was not there. It was like they just turned the cameras on and said, okay, here's what I want y'all to talk about now, and then they go into talking about it as their characters. 4 out of 10 from me. That's the best. But don't forget Bethany Hamilton, Unstoppable. That got an 8, so remember that one. This has been Jackie K. Cooper's Entertainment Rundown.